Hello, my YouTube people. Okay, so I am going to talk about a cone of power, how you raise it. There are really a variety of ways that you can raise a cone of power. A lot of witchy books, even ones for beginners, they talk about raising energy in a way like they expect you to already know how to do it. So, for a very long time, until I read The Spiral Dance, I really had no instruction on how to charge a candle or a stone or a piece of jewelry or what have you. And I was delighted to find out that for the most part, I figured it out correctly, except I was using my own energy when I charged it instead of taking energy from this wonderful universe around us that is full of energy. Now, if you're in a coven, a lot of times, you sing, you dance, you get together with a group, and you can raise group energy, which is obviously easier, whether you're, taking it from the earth or the trees or what have you. It's easier when you're in a group to raise it by yourself. However, as y'all know, yours truly has never practiced in a group. So, the way I did it for years was, like I said, I would take the candle or the stone or the whatever, and I would visualize my own energy going into it like this. There is a better way, my friends. Now, like I said, a lot of people will sing, they'll dance, they'll chant, they'll do all of that to raise energy, and that is all very valid and probably a lot easier depending on how you are with visualization than what I'm about to tell you. However, if you're in a situation where, you live with people or you just, whatever, you can't sing, dance, and chant, you can still raise energy. You can be in solitary confinement and you can still raise a cone of power. But it does take visualization. Obviously, if you are outside, you're closer to the earth and you can sit against a tree, and all of that makes raising energy from the earth easier, because what I'm about to tell you to do, it does require taking it from the earth. But even if you can't go outside because it's cold or because you live in the city or whatever, again, you can still raise a cone of power. Now, if you're doing a full-blown spell, you can cast the circle first, call the quarters, and you can even take energy from the quarters. But where do you get the energy from the circle? See, a lot of people, and I did this myself for a very long time, again, use their own energy because we generally cast the circle, or at least I do, before calling quarters. So you can't really take it from the quarters because you haven't called them yet. So, the way that I do it, even when I can't go outside or any of that, is say I'm right here in the bathroom and I want to charge this beautiful orange candle that I can't even keep in my hand. You would close your eyes and you would put your feet on the ground. I know you can't see my feet, but they are on the ground. And it's a lot like grounding, except instead of taking your energy, your excess energy, and putting it in the ground, you are imagining that you have roots on your feet and that they are going down, 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 down. If you have a basement, if you're on the 4th floor, if you're on the 20th floor, it's got to go all the way down until it hits dirt. And you imagine that those roots are in the dirt and you are taking the energy from the earth. Now, the way that I personally do it, because I also imagine that I'm a full-blown tree in the cemetery. And my branches reach up to the sky. If it's daytime, it pulls down the energy of the sun. If it's nighttime, it pulls down the energy of the moon in whatever phase the moon is in. So, like right now, we are in the waning moon phase. I would be pulling down the energy of the waning moon, which is, of course, good for banishing, protection, divination, things like that. And the way that I do it is what comes from the sky, and what comes from the earth all meets in my solar plexus right here. And then the earth energy and the moon energy combine, and the earth energy comes up and the moon energy goes down, until in my mind my entire body is glowing with this energy that I have just taken from the earth and the sky. Do you see why this is easier if you can go outside? It's easier to visualize. It's easier to pull the energy up because you're right there. But still, if you can't go outside, you can still do it. Now, once you have this energy that you have pulled from the moon and the sky and the earth and the whatever, and if you can use the ocean, if you're by the ocean, use that. Whatever you can use in terms of nature, use it. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, so it's pretty much just dirt and moon. But once you have that energy in you, say you need to cast a circle, so you need white light. So you then visualize that energy is turning white, and you're glowing with white light. And then if you don't have a tool, or you don't use a tool, which I have a wand, but I never use it to cast a circle. I've tried it. It doesn't feel right. I always use my finger. I'm right-handed, so this is my cast out finger. And then when it's time to bring the circle back, I use this finger like that. But anyway, you cast the circle. And if you want me to do a video on how I do that, I just leave a comment and I will. But we're doing the cone of power right now. Please don't distract me. Anyway, once you have that energy, if you're doing a spell, you cast a circle, you call quarters, all that. However, I'm not doing a spell. I am just showing y'all how to put the energy into the candle or the stone or whatever. Okay, so you have your energy. You no longer need to be a tree unless you want to be. Keep that energy flowing. So you have your candle. This candle is orange. Orange can be used for business success, joy. It's got a lot of creativity, individuality, I believe, self-expression, things like that. So we will say that you are trying to start your own business. Well, you got business success, I believe opportunity, and there's something else to do. We'll just stick with business success. Okay. So you take your orange candle, and the energy that started out dirt and moon and then became white energy, you now would want it orange. And I always associate success with gold, so I personally would do orange and gold. Now, if you can, some people are better at visualization than others. If you're not that great at it and it's hard for you to hold it, just stick with the one color. So gold or orange, whichever. All right, you take your hand. And if you're not sure, like if you're not sure what color to put in it, remember white does the trick with everything. Although you would think black would, since black is the combination, but white is the absence, so you can, I don't know. Anyway, let's not get into that just yet. So you take your candle, like so, and you put your hand like this, and you imagine your orange light as you're going up, spiraling, and you imagine that this orange light is business success. And you're thinking about the business success, about what it would look like to you, and you're raising that cone, raise it as high as you can raise it. When you can't raise it anymore, when you feel like you should stop, or you're losing the visualization of the business success and what you want from it, then you take it and you lower, 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 lower. Imagine that energy all compacting, going into the candle. And then you take the candle Or at least this is how I do it. Remember, there's no just one way to do anything, but this is how I do it. You take the candle and you have a visualization of what you want the perfect final outcome to look like. So whatever business success would look like to you in this instance. Hold a visualization of you, happy in your own business and all of that in your mind. Hold it as long as you can hold it. And then when you can't hold it anymore, you blow. And while you're blowing, you blow either the words business success or your image of what you feel that is into the candle. Like, and the whole time you're thinking business success. And then some people do an equal arm cross or pinnacle or whatever to seal it, or you can just, seal it. That's how I always did it. Like, I'm just smacking the shit out of it, just putting it in there good. And it will, it stays in your receiving hand while you're doing this. So if you have put the energy into it, you should be able to feel it. And then when you're finished, you'll still have, most likely, you'll still have energy. And you need to ground that energy. Otherwise, you could end up jittery and just ground the damn energy. So, say, we've taken down the circle. You definitely need to ground after that. And all that good shit. You then, or the way that I do it, is I put my hands on the floor. I imagine all the energy that I just took going back into the earth, turning white once more so that the earth can use it or other people can use it or what have you. It's purified. It no longer has the purpose I needed it for, because we know that we can do that with energy. And you just do it until you feel like you have grounded enough of your energy, and then that's it. So, like I said, there are very elaborate ways that you can raise a cone of power. And there are probably even better ways, but if you can't be outside for whatever reason, and you can't drum, and you can't sing, and you're like, how in the fuck am I going to do this? Never fret, because that's the thing about the craft. You can have no tools, no space. Like, you can literally be in solitary confinement and still use energy and work the craft. Because about 90% of it is all up here. It's as long as you can hold some type of visualization, or you put enough into your statements, do it verbally, you can practice witchcraft, because a lot of it is mental. And just like you can have all of the tools in the world, you can have the best of the best of the best, but if you don't have it here, like as far as if you don't visualize and you don't believe and you all of that, it's not going to do any good to have all of those tools, because you're not going to get anywhere with it. So I thought that I would show y'all how to do a cone of power if you're in a pickle. And you're like, oh my god, how am I going to do this? Even if you are 40 stories up, as long as you can visualize those roots going down, and you have to visualize them going down every single floor into the ground, and you can visualize the branches collecting the energy from the tree, or from the moon or the sun, whichever you're working with, you can raise a cone of power. And again, you can do it without doing any of that. But the problem is you're going to use your own energy. And you're going to be tired. And you're going to, sometimes you even feel sick to your stomach and all of that. You know when you've used too much of your own energy, or even when I have grounded too much of my energy before. Because you just feel, So, that's that for the cone of power. And, if y'all have other ideas on how to do it, or you want to make your response videos, or whatever, by all means, be my guest. And I hope this helps someone out there who's reading a book going, why the fuck are they acting like I know how to do this? They're supposed to be the ones teaching me how to do this. I've been there, honey. I've been there. Blessed be.